Setup good. Yep. Okay. Hello, everybody. I am here with my man, Roberto Romanello, one of my potentially my absolute actually favorite accent in all of poker, my Wales boss, coming in this week with the Triple Crown. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
So, since I last saw you, I actually think the last time I saw you, you either had just had the twins or your wife was just about to have the
Mhm.
twins. So, before we get into life as a Triple Crown winner, I first want to just catch up a little bit on life as a dad and a poker player. I think this is being in the generation kind of that we are in the poker world. This is something that a lot of people are sort of, if not embracing, that they're starting to realize this is probably the next step in their life. And it can,
Yeah.
I think, be a little bit difficult to manage the fatherhood with the crazy poker lifestyle. So just talk to me a little bit about what the last few years have been like for you.
Well, my life just changed completely. I mean, and for the better, obviously. My absolute world, everyone, the family, just changed everything, turned everything upside down. And me being lucky enough to still balance and still play a little bit of poker as well. So I'm blessed in that way. I mean, being with party and having the family around me, and I just got the right people around me, my wife. And being lucky in that sense, having family businesses behind us as well. So it's still pretty much relaxed when I play and still play my own game that I've always wanted to play when I do play. But yeah, the twins are just incredible. Very busy and it's not easy. It's very tough. But like, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's just incredible.
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned the family businesses, which I know you were in the old fish and chips trade. You've got business people behind you. That being
Yeah.
said, being able to be a Triple Crown winner and to have been able to have sort of spaced things out the way you have, it's very clear that your game is still right there where it needs to be, and yet you're saying, you've got your mind sometimes on other things. You're a father, you've got businesses. How do you feel like you're able to? We all know, right? The game changes all the time, things are changing all the time, but you are able to kind of stay at the top. How do you feel like you're able to sort of manage that?
Um, well, listen, when I first started playing poker, I just fell in love with the game straight away. Simple as that. And I was living, breathing, eating poker. I was traveling. Everyone who knows me, I was traveling everywhere. I mean, I remember you. We'd see it every stop, um, and it was incredible. I met some absolutely amazing people at the time of my life. I did. I really enjoyed every second. I wouldn't change anything. I was lucky enough with my wife, Catherine. We had a relationship. She always supported me, let me travel, and yeah, when I was playing constantly every event, and I was doing well, and I was constantly up there. Lucky enough to win some major events along the way back then. But that's what I wanted, and that's what I was. My goal was. I just wanted to. I just had a buzz for major events, and I always have, and I still have now. When I play a major event, it just something special comes out to me, and I just have that drive to win and to adapt when I need to. And then I started getting older, and it wasn't fair on my wife. I needed to. I felt like the time was right for me to settle down, and that's when I decided, look, maybe I might have to take a little step back. I wanted to get married. I wanted to start a family. So I did take them steps back, and I wasn't on the circuit at all like I was. It was just, very in and out here and there. And I got married, and luckily we had children straight away. Um, and it's just everything changed. I used to be in love with playing EPTs. I'd be at every stop. They were my number one, and The reason I was in love with the game is because the EPT stops they had, you know yourself, they had the right people around the stops. They had PokerStars had the people representing, the people there to greet you, the people there to, and they would invite everybody. You know, it would be different people, qualifiers. It would be like people. They would give everybody. They'd always have time for all the major players who were traveling, and just made it special. And that all sort of like disappeared and fizzled out. So at the time that I was changing in my life as well, so I was like okay with it all, you know. And then I sort of started taking a step back with the marriage, the kids, and then I was lucky enough to be asked to join party. Um, there was the right people around it back then, who wanted me to come on board. You know, Rob Young was there, and you know, it sort of brought out the spark back out in me when, although now I'm married and children and I'm full on with the family life, the only stops I've done in the last few years, are very rare. I went to Vegas to play a party poker event, the Millions in Aria, and I ended up being talked to stay for the main event. I had to change my flight. They said, "You're here now. You should play." Like all poker players do, they convince you you've got to play. You're here. But apart from that, I've only been playing party poker live events, and it's pretty much simple. Why? Because same as the old days, they have the right people around. That you look at the people who are around there, they're the same faces. They're the people that you've made friends with over the years. They're there to do the things, to greet you, and to I just enjoy being around the right people. Simple as that. And it makes me want to play the game. It makes me want to go and play these live events, you know, like I used to. And so I've just been focusing on those events and nothing else really. So, and that's why I haven't been grinding the WSOP for the last 5-6 years, and I've only been in and out very rarely, just for one or two events, and because things have changed, and that's it really. And it tells you all about basically the team around Party Poker. They have Rob Young has those faces around him. It's not by chance that they're the same faces that have been around him for years, because they're happy there, and they you know, they all have a trust, and they know what they're doing. It's like a sort of family. Well, it is family, I suppose, to him, what he has around him. And you know, it does make a difference, and it's made it nice for me to go and play, and me being lucky enough to be on the team. And that's obviously, I'm very gifted in that sense. I'm very, you know, I appreciate that. So, and there's a lot of great players out there who are put a lot of work in the game, and it's so tough to get onto it, you know, a sponsorship or a team, and it's just so tough. So yes, I'm very grateful that them opportunities are there for me. And I mean, yeah. And then obviously the online thing came along, and with the WSOP, and I just thought, I've got to take a shot at it, you know, and try and get that triple crown. It was in my head that I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a good shot. And lucky enough, it was on the first Sunday, you know. It's just weird, the drive I have for something when I really, really want it. And I think, what better place to do it when I'm at home, you know, and give this a shot, you know, when I'm happy and just perfect.
That's so interesting, though. That's something I wanted to ask you about. First of all, Chris Mormon in the chat said, "Hey, man, I know it was important for you to get the Triple Crown, and you know you were going for it for a while, so super happy for you, buddy." And lots of other people in the chat just saying, you know, congrats. And Michael has a question, which I do want to ask you, but just before we get into his question, I think it like ties right in. But you know, one of the people always ask me, what's your favorite interview? You know, what was one of the best interviews ever? And I actually wasn't even there, but I was fully on the EPT circuit when you won in Prague, and I heard from Gloria, in fact, I think it was, that it was her one of her favorite moments ever in her time on the tour, and that there was just such a genuine joy, and just everyone was so happy for you, and you were so genuine. And so I think, being someone who's interviewed a zillion people in their winning moments, I can certainly appreciate when someone really enjoys that moment. But for you now, being at home, potentially alone in the dark with your family sleeping. I don't know. I have no idea. Can you tell me a little bit about what the moment is like when you finally capture the Triple Crown, but you're at home?
Yeah, I was grinding a few games. I had a couple of big games up on Party, and I was playing this. I'd been playing this since the WSOP event since noon, so it was a long grind. It was Asian time zone, and I just I knew I started going deep, and but you know that happens a lot in tournaments, so you still don't get excited. You know, I was just playing, and I was just in a good place, and I have been playing a lot. I'm still learning loads online. You know what I mean? It's not my strongest game. My strongest game is live for sure, and but it was just the final moments. I was on the final table, and I just remember I just started to, like, as I always do in tournaments, just started to switch gears, put a lot more pressure on my opponents, and I was on my own in here in the poker room. This is my poker room where I am now. I have quite a good setup here, and my wife and kids were in bed already, and like I did mention to you earlier, the kids sleep all night right the way through. Like, they're such good sleepers. Never wake up I can't even remember the last time the kids woke up and disturbed me in a poker session, or my wife had to come down if something's wrong. But I'm not lying. This is the truth. And the little boy, Frank, he's exactly like me, and Maria is exactly like my wife in their ways as well, like more in their ways, the way they are in general. And all I remember was, like, I've played I just cut it short. I just played the final hand, and I was like, yes. And I was sitting there. And next, all I could hear was like somebody coming down the stairs. And I was like, my wife carried my little boy. She said, "What's going on? Little Frank is restless." So, like, he wouldn't. It was just so weird that he was restless at the exact time that I won the tournament. They've come into the poker room, and like, we were all there, and we were hugging, and
He was totally tapped in.
it's just weird. I got a tear in my eye now just thinking about it. It's so weird. It's just like
I got
incredible.
goosebumps. It's so crazy.
And I would never, and people who know me, I would never lie about this. It's exactly how I said it. It's like he just came down, yeah, and he was just hugging me, and it's just incredible.
It's
Really
so
nice.
it's so amazing when you see sort of like the full circle
And
of.
that's how it happened. He was hugging me, and he was like tired, and he was just like tired and resting on my shoulder, and I was just like sitting there.
You're like, and it makes sense that I would win the bracelet with my
It's
family.
just crazy.
Literally
Yeah.
with my family. Which you could never, if you were in Vegas, never have that moment.
Incredible how. And I can't even remember the last time he'd ever come down. It must have been like about a year, when he was so small, over a year ago. Never disturbed me.
It's so funny.
Incredible.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
funny. But I fully believe that too. I fully believe that
Yeah.
there's like this, deep connection that's totally inexplainable,
Yeah.
but so obvious that you can't ignore it.
I just knew something was up. I was like, so crazy.
And the moment would have been so much different if you were completely alone. I mean, I'm sure it would be great in another way, but to be able to share that
Yeah.
with him is such a unique experience.
Yeah. I had a couple of friends railing me, and I know one of my brothers was railing me. My other brother didn't know anything at all. And then I got my dad, who didn't know anything at all. Usually he's like, he asked me a few questions, like, but this night nobody said nothing to me. But one of my brothers did, and he didn't say anything, and two of my other friends did. And then, like, then when it was over, obviously then they were phoning me, and it was like, and then when I put the message on the family group to my brothers and my dad, and it was like, wow, like, just like, I put the picture up, and I just said, like, I just won the Triple Crown and the bracelet, and it was like, and they were just ecstatic. Yeah, they were chuffed. It was nice.
It really is such an incredible accomplishment. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very small group of people that can say that they've done that. And this situation was so unique, I think, for everyone. And actually, I've been so surprised at how great it's turned out for the poker community. Actually, it seemed like, oh, so sad, we can't all get together and play anymore. But somehow it's ended up with a lot of, I think, really incredible stories and a lot
Yes.
of moments that we never would have had. And this leads me to Michael's question, by the way. He said, if COVID-19 didn't happen and the WSOP was in Vegas as usual, do you think you would be prepared mentally the same way and be able to play as well as you did in this spot?
Um, well, like I said, I knew in the back of my mind, I knew I've always wanted to. I mean, when I just won EBT Prague and WPT Bratislava, you can imagine my goal that year and the year after. It went on for like 2 or 3 years. My drive was just like, let's get this done. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, it's tough. I think I'm not sure how many final tables I had. I know I had like a couple of thirds. I had like a good. I think I'm not sure it's over 5 finals or maybe more. I don't know, but I come close a couple of times. It's just tough in general. And I was only playing hold'em events, and I knew obviously I was easy about it when I got kids and I'm married, and I obviously my life changed, and I'm cool about it. I'm so chilled, you know. I'm not like I wasn't chasing it as hard as I used to. But the back of my mind, when like all this was happening, and I'd been playing a lot of online, so like I'd been like getting a lot of games in and getting used to it all. And then when they announced like it's going to be online, I was like, okay, this is probably a better chance of me doing it now than ever, because I don't think I'll ever grind the game. I mean, I wouldn't say never, but the chances are 99% I'm never going to be grind like I used to done 8, 9 years ago, where I'd be there for 7 weeks. So what my chances, I'm thinking, are better now, to give it a shot. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to play a few games and see what happens. And then it happened right away. So, but if I would have, if it didn't happen, the answer to the question, the back of my mind is always each year I'm thinking, I don't sort of like plan things out, but if I get a shot to maybe go for a couple of weeks or go for 10 days, like the last time I planned on going for 5 days, I ended up staying for 7, 8 days. I'll just try and go here and there. I was thinking that would be my plan. So I probably wouldn't have been as well prepared. And my mind is a little bit in a different place when I go to Vegas now, because the last time I went, I got super homesick, as you can imagine. Um, I, the moment I bust the main event, all I remember was just straight to the hotel, packed the case. I knew there was a flight going like in an hour and 10, and I was just like rushing taxi, and I made the flight home. Yeah, so I couldn't wait to get out of there. As much as look, Vegas is amazing. I've had some great times there, memories, and I don't put anybody off. If you've got those dreams and those poker dreams, I've done it, and it is as good as you would expect. If you get there and you're able to do it, you'll have the time of your life. I mean, I had the time of my life with the right people around. I had some unbelievable friends around me. I was lucky enough to be in that group. We had some wicked times. I mean, at the best times in my life out there. Playing poker. I didn't party as hard as my friends did, but I did party now and again. But like, it was incredible. I loved everything about it. So I'm not saying to put anybody off, or Vegas is amazing. And if you are young and up and coming, or even still got the dream and you got the hunger, go with your dreams, because it is good and you will enjoy it. So, and yeah, I just want to just enjoy my trips now when I can, with the right people. Like I say, a lot of those friends that I had back then, they're still my friends now, but when I do go away, it's not like we're not all together. Things change, life changes, people change. Now and again, I see a few of them. It's brilliant. You know, we get together and we meet up, have some dinner, we go out and do that. And if we're lucky enough to have a couple of us, even better. Now and again, you get a couple of friends going on the tour. But that's why for me, it's important, and why I'm enjoying still when I go away, and why I have only played the party poker events, is because I've got the right people around me. I know all those people. When I go away, I'm always comfortable. We can always go for dinner all together. We can still do the things with all the faces that I've known for years. And to me, it makes it special. And it makes me play good as well. Do you know what I mean? It makes me play good at those live events, and I love it, you know? I'm not saying I still want to play here and there, other events. You know, I enjoy any major event. If the timing's right and everything, I will do it for sure. I still, when I go and play a main event, I still have the hunger to do so well, and I give it everything. And if it's not a major event, I have to be honest, I don't give it as much as I do when it is a major event. I mean, I just seem to come out of my shell, and I just go through those gears in a different way when I'm playing a major tourney. Simple as that. And I still have that hunger. And I know, listen, you said the game is changing. The game is changing, and the game has changed. But if you're able, listen, for me, the game has changed in ways, you know, you've got a lot of GTO play, you've got this, you've got that. But to me, in my mind, going through back in the years, I have a way in my mind how to win and how to adapt at the table and to play every individual player in a different way. You know, I've always had that, and I will play different styles against different people. It's as simple as that. And for me, that works. And I would never knock these players who are playing a lot of GTO style, because they've done some of these guys have done some fantastic results. They're amazing players, and I always look up to everybody who's doing well, because that's the way you get on in life. You look up to what they're doing and stuff. But you know, I don't knock what they're doing because they're successful. Simple as that. But I will adapt, and for me, I've always played some sort of GTO style in my head for a long time. Going back in my head, you know, I've done it. To me, I feel like I've done it for years, because it only works against, for me, it will work against certain players, certain styles. I don't need to, I will use different styles against different style of players, simple as that. And I still do that now. And the more you know, even when you play online, you get to know some players, the way they play and this and that. And then it just grows in you. And it's just like the live skills that you use, then you use that on certain players online. And basically that's what I've always done, and it works for me. But then these GTO styles work for those guys, so it's good on them. You know, everybody's different in life, and that's why the game is beautiful, because these different scenarios come up in the game and different ways of playing hands. A lot of people say you should play. To me, there is like, obviously there is the basic stuff. Yes, obviously you should play this. It's pretty standard to play certain hands, but sometimes hands you can win I win monster pots different style that I'll use. I'll do something completely out the ordinary, but it works for me, and I can win those pots doing my style. And I've always done that, and I know in my head it works for me, and as long as I'm playing, and it doesn't matter what level. I've always been fearless playing at any level, and it works basically for me as an individual.
I think that's pretty sound advice. Also, and actually, it's even funny in thinking about, quote unquote, solving the game. But humans are so like unsolvable, really, in so many ways, and so it's almost as long as humans are this huge component of the game, that the solvability, yes, I think is a bit relative. But I know you have to go soon, and I have another interview, and I don't want to be a jerk and be late, but I want to make sure also, before I let you go, and especially now that we're all really playing online now more, the WPT is having, in conjunction with Party Poker, right, an yes, online championship event. So talk to me a little bit about, I don't even fully, I think, understand sometimes the partnerships between WPT and Party, or what the championships are going to look like, but I do know there's a lot of like buzz and hype around it.
Yeah, I mean, they run the festival. They had a partnership when COVID was on with WPT, and it was incredible. They had the numbers, the way they run them. I love the way they did all the real names. For me is,
yeah,
it's perfect for me, because that's what I'm all about, the live game, and it gives it that specialness as well, and it gives it that. So like you can see, it's very fair when you're at the tables, the way it is. None of this. It is who it is, and I think it's brilliant, and it worked, and they've obviously done it. They're doing it again now. It's a lot tougher with the competition out there with these big festivals elsewhere. But they know that, and they've acknowledged that. But again, it does have that for me. I'm not just saying it because I'm with Party, but it's got that touch of class, and you can see it's come from the back room where it's come out, and what they're doing. it's got that finesse. They've got that. They interact with all the players, and you can see it comes out. All the big players, you can see how happy they are to interact with the people at Party, WPT. The WPT brand again is just incredible. The people behind it, they're very solid. It makes sense because there's two big brands there, and they just gel so well, obviously, because the integrity of the game and everything. It makes a lot of sense, and it does work. As I said, it's tougher. The guarantees are tougher. There's some value in the games. You know, some of the guarantees are missing. So I would say get on there and get in the game. The games are great. The guarantees are big. So and it's just, you can trust it. You know what I mean? It's real, and yeah, it's just great. It's a great festival. They've got all the games going on there. You know,
it reminded me.
there.
I saw that the WPT for this event, and I think for several events actually, that they're partnered with Baccarat Crystal and like Hublot. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but some fancy watches. And it reminded me sort of what I like when I first came into poker, and all these,
exactly.
you know, that you were getting
yeah.
watches and Shambhala bracelets, and you know that there was all these really kind of bougie partnerships.
And trust me, it makes a difference. I always wanted one of them bracelets. I remember traveling back there. I used to get there, and it's like, I'd be looking in the cabinet of the watch, and I'd be looking at I'm like, if I could have that bracelet, like, you'd wear that. It was like, it was funky, yeah? I'm like, yeah, I'd wear that. And if I'm on the tables, like, I'd be like, yeah, I'd look quite cool in that, you know? But that was part of, like, the hunger and what they had going on, and yeah, it is good, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. And I completely see what you mean in terms of just taking care of everyone, the staff, the players, just sort of maintaining this energy and this vibe that's less about like how you can squeeze, you know, a few more dollars, and more about how you can provide an environment that feels good for everyone. Because I think ultimately you get more dollars that way.
Yeah, and it's the only one out there at the moment doing that. And like, Party Poker are, you know, they're good at that. And like I said, they're the same faces every time. And it tells, when you see the same faces, the same staff, you know, the same people are on it tells you everything you need to know, really. And that's it, really, because when you see faces in out, you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
But the whole system is looked after throughout, and it's got a great, you know, it's built rock from the bottom very well. Do you know what I mean? It's like good.
My favorite thing about the party events is that they always have like the player lounge, which has free alcohol and food almost all the time.
Yeah.
Just saying, no big deal, but that's just a nice little bonus perk that I've enjoyed. All right, I have to get going. So do you, Roberto. I miss you. I appreciate you so much taking the time. I know that you've got so much going on in your life, but I really, really appreciate you doing this for me.
It's a pleasure. I've enjoyed it anytime.
And a huge congratulations. Actually, before anyone said like, hey, we need to make sure to get this interview, I was on the Twitter saying congratulations to you, because I genuinely was just so happy to see you accomplish this.
Listen, good luck to everybody out there, and always chase your dream, and you can make it happen. Good luck, everybody.
From a fish and chip shop to a triple crown, you see this guy? All right.
Thank you. Take care.